it has some problems. And thus, for Hume, everything that was reasoned above is based on faulty mental programming. And we need to regularly remind ourselves of this before we get too confident what we claim to be true. So reason cannot be trusted. The third one, of course many films were made on this one, and this is very different from the two. This is the third approach to radical doubt, named after French philosopher René Descartes, 1596 and 1650. On his views, our entire understanding of the world may just be an illusion, and this possibly casts doubt on any knowledge claim that we might make. He thinks that everything is recorded, as just simply triggered. When you are exposed, this goes back. This real world may not be the real world. It may be all illusion. So this may say that we are somewhere, and what we are not really what we are. Yeah? It may be just recording, and it's being run one after another in sequence. And this is what he says if you read the last line. So critics on radical philosophical skepticism, there are attacks on radical skepticism, is that the skeptic's position is logically self-refuting. And why self-refuting? See the statement down there. The skeptic's main position is this: we cannot know any belief with certainty. But listen to the other thing. It is same like saying we know with certainty that we cannot know any belief with certainty. So it's a self-refuting statement. We cannot believe, and whereas they believe what they cannot believe. So it's self-refuting statements, and there can be others also. So radical skepticism seems to be excessive, and it poses a challenge to genuine knowledge. You see, the word genuine knowledge you quite often see in books: genuine knowledge, true knowledge. Can we say genuine knowledge with doubt? If knowledge with doubt, how can that be genuine? Knowledge can be true, then how this knowledge, the true knowledge, is with doubt? There shouldn't be doubt. So maybe this problem that we try to handle with a newer worldview approach. Let us just go through the types of the knowledge we have. I'll be a bit quicker if you want to read it out along with me. Divine knowledge. Divine knowledge comes from the divine source. Quran, Hadith, Sunnah. There were other divine sources as well before us. And source of knowledge is revelation, Wahi, and this is absolute quality of knowledge. So there is no question about it. This is where the faith comes. Belief and faith are different, because belief is, faith is belief without evidence. Doesn't need any evidence. Acquired knowledge. Source of this knowledge is human sense, hearing, sighting, and so on. And this knowledge comes from observation and experimentation, sense experience. Knowledge, can be correct and incorrect. Because we have limitations, our senses are limited. Senses meaning hearing, listening, touching, smelling. So that cannot be trusted because they have limitations. Intuitive knowledge, this is known as ilm with unity, inspiration, ilham, intuition, hadas, instincts, and etc. This type of knowledge is not reliable. So if you just dream, whereas you are awake, you think something happened to you and you just go and do it. For example, it comes that in dream that you have killed somebody, in the morning you go and kill them. Yeah, this cannot be trusted. Intuitive knowledge. And many of philosophies, at least the mainstream philosophies of interpretivism, is based upon intuitive knowledge. Arguments are there that even though we place our knowledge on intuition, it works. So why to go beyond when it's working? But to me, it's different. Knowledge is to build a knowledge community, yeah? Peace and harmony, live side by side. And this is not true. If we are knowledgeable, then why there are fightings? Why we cannot live together? Yeah? So we have some problem in our knowledge, wherever we are. We fight each other, we are human beings, our knowledge is in trouble. We don't know the absolute knowledge. And we are unable to live in peace. And we come up with fighting and killing sort of things. There can be some exceptions, right? And the last category of knowledge, magic and sorcery, this is totally prohibited. Because knowledge, when it harms people, is haram. You cannot take that as knowledge. Knowledge which harms people. Doesn't really matter who, but it harms. So that's not allowed. This knowledge leads you to something which creates problem rather than solve problems. There are 4 different sources of knowledge. Authoritative knowledge, and it's based on information received from people, books, supreme beings, etc. It's the strength, depends on the strength of the source. Okay? The highest strength of the source is, at the moment before us, the Muslim and believer, is Quran and Hadith. Okay? Other books written on the same are also the second source. And this knowledge authoritative, which comes either through writings, yeah, is testimonial. It can be verbal also, but it stands quite higher than others. Intuitive knowledge, faith, belief, intuition, it is based on the feelings rather than hard facts. You feel something, concept comes, you start building up your other concept on the basis of the basic concept and go on, and it doesn't work. This is where the problem is. Logical knowledge, it is arrived at by reasoning from points which is generally accepted to point B, the new knowledge known as non-experience knowledge. The mathematics fits there, as long as you don't put assumptions in mathematics. I'm not a mathematician, but you cannot say 2 plus 2. 2 plus 2 is 4, always 4. You cannot say, if you negate this, you say that 2 plus 2 is not 4, is self, yeah, is refuting the statement, analytical statements. So they call it mathematics or analytical statements also. So this is, but I don't know much about mathematics, I'm not a mathematician. So when you put assumptions and constants, I really don't know. If you ask this question, I will not answer. Logical knowledge, yes, and empirical knowledge is based on demonstrable objective facts which are determined through observation and or experimentation. Yeah, you know that we all do experimentation, the kind of experimentation we do. Yeah, and then this knowledge comes to, and this is sense knowledge, experience knowledge, not like intuitive knowledge. Intuitive knowledge is non-experience knowledge. That's slightly different from reasoning knowledge. And this knowledge comes from experience. So you go and have a setting, an experiment, you experience it, you get the data, they call it objective realities, you know. You can measure things and so on, but still you measure. And you don't know how do you measure that. How precise and accurate you are in your measurements. I've seen a lot of problems in measurements, especially when you talk about surveys. Yeah? Continuous variables are being measured on discrete scales. It's not a mistake, but this is how you do it. So, and then you go and accept it with the doubt. So you put the doubt. Maybe this has to be seen in a different way. So let us see the basics of Islamic philosophy of knowledge. Knowledge in Islam is called ilm. Plural of ilm is ulum. And therefore, when referring to ulum in English, the closest word is sciences. That is Islamic sciences, social sciences, natural sciences, design sciences. This is why we say sciences. Because there is no plural word of like ulum in English. In Quran, the term often come together with the knowledge, ilm, and our understanding, which is fiqh, and wisdom, hikmah. Okay, so always these terms come together. Knowledge should reach up to hikmah, wisdom. Okay, and I have given you simple, my experience is that when you reach to the level where you answer all problematic situations, questions, statement, you reach to the level of hikmah, the wisdom. Now you know and you can explain it, but and so you must reach to that level of understanding. Research questions, we all know situations that researchers need to answer, and these questions are formulated in question statements: what, where, when, how, and why. The last two situations, how and why, are required for understanding and wisdom. So when you reach to the wisdom, probably you can call yourself a philosopher, but when you reach to the knowledge, not up to understanding, you can be scholar. So you have to decide, you want to be a philosopher or a scholar? You need to answer everything up to that level. Okay, and when is wisdom? It's known as vision and action, meaning the last level of understanding. And a lot of emphasis in Quran, everywhere these terms come together. Knowledge and wisdom together, meaning that we have to push a bit further to create some vision, to take an action or decision on the basis of the wisdom you have. Okay. As I said, absolute truth and absolute knowledge are always together. Truth cannot be separated from knowledge. I give you an example. Absolute knowledge is undetachable from absolute truth. They always come together, irrespective of one's belief. You may believe something. Therefore, truth is indispensable component of knowledge. For example, Greeks believed earth is flat long way back. That was not true. The truth is it is spherical. In Quran it says it's narrower at the borders. You might have read it. Narrow at the borders. It's not circle. Narrow at the borders. And borders refers to the south and north pole. It's narrower there. Okay? So it's spherical, it's not circle. Our understanding is circle, it's not spherical. So narrow at the borders. Philosophical belief system is based upon innate knowledge. This is the human knowledge. When we say divine knowledge, absolute truth, then we have to refer back to the divine source of knowledge, create some ideas from there. Okay? That's why we say you can start from known to unknown and come back to the known. If you start from unknown and you think you have reached to the known, keeping divine knowledge away, you are in problem. So philosophical belief system is based upon innate knowledge or sense experience mostly. I'll talk about these paradigms a bit later. This belief system is subject to change. Many philosophical skeptics such as Farodian, David Hume, Rene Hortesian are highly critical about philosophical knowledge. It's not me, the philosophers are really there. Western philosophers, not Eastern philosophers, are really there. And they are very critical about the sense knowledge, experience knowledge, and all kinds of those ideas. Sometimes we call it innate knowledge, innate reasoning, innate thesis, yeah, inductive ideas, experiences, deductive ideas, yeah, deductive reasoning, and sort of things. Yeah, I'm going to go very fast. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I've just given an explanation of that where the philosophical problems come. I think this is why that doubt is placed, to accept doubt, because the limitations are there philosophically. A paradigm is a simple word. A simple word is a worldview. Yeah, simple is a worldview. Yeah, is the lens through which you view the world. Smaller scale of worldview. This is what paradigm is. Paradigm is a set of beliefs about the world and about gaining knowledge that goes together to guide people action as to how they are going to go about doing their research. Okay? Many people have already discussed this. And it is a scaled down version of the worldview. There are many worldviews and therefore many paradigms also. There are many Western worldviews and paradigms. We all follow. Yeah? Positivism, interpretivism, critical inquiry, constructivism, deism, post-positivism, relativism. These are all varieties of paradigms over there. But most commonly, the two, which I'm going to refer a bit later on, are there. Islamic worldview is one of them, it's latest. After so many centuries, the gap in Islamic civilizations, yeah, we straightaway follow the Western approaches without considering that we can have our own views also. Yeah? As recent 50 years and so on. When I search information, I can find just few people working on this worldview. Positivism, this is the two primary paradigms associated with quantitative research. You all have, you do quantitative research, basically your foundation, paradigm foundation is based on this. Involves hypothesis testing to obtain objective truth. They call it objective reality, objective truth, because you measure the things. Also used to predict what may happen at a future date. This is primarily rely on quantitative data to do this. Surveys, experimentations, and so on. Interpretivism associated with the qualitative research used to obtain an understanding of the world from an individual perspective. Yeah? So they are different. And this is basically the second one based upon innate knowledge. There are four aspects of research paradigm. Three aspects. Fourth I just deleted this morning, but upper is four. Belief in the nature of reality. We need to know the reality of the real. Epistemology, which is how you think about that reality. Knowledge source and sort of things. This is knowledge about the knowledge. Methodologies, how you are going to use your ways of thinking, and also data collections and so on. So methodology deals with the data collection, epistemology deals with the knowledge of the knowledge, and belief up there, which is ontology, which is nature of the reality of the things. You see these two, and you can see what kind of research you do. There in quantitative, qualitative, we all have research exposure at one stage of time. Positivism, quantitative research approach, research methods they use is survey, longitudinal, cross-sectional, and correlation. These are survey types. Experimental, quasi-experimental, ex post facto research. Examples are there. Interpretive is qualitative, yeah, biographical, phenomenological, ethnographical, case studies falls into qualitative part. If you look at different names of this paradigm, so I put this parallel, you see this quantitative there, you see positivist, objectivist, scientific, experimental, traditional, these are different names of the same. And the research comes down there is up to simulation and survey, all quantitative, yeah, because paradigm is positivism and methodology we use is quantitative, positivist, objectivist, yeah, we believe in objective reality, scientific and so on. Interpretivism They are qualitative, phenomenological, subjective, humanistic, interpretives, and mostly false case study, action research, ethnography, participants inquiry, feminist perspective, grounded theory, and so on. Yeah? And see that on my interpretivism is based on innate understanding, yeah? Innate ideas, and the other one is based upon your experience knowledge. And these are two groups always in conflict. I'm sure many researchers agree with me. They never like each other. They think of experience is human faulty problem, ours can be a knowledge which is better than ours, and others believe that this human perception varies time to time. Innate knowledge is just inbuilt knowledge which may not be relied upon, sort of things. Okay? This is where, if you see this process step by step, research ideas, the whole fight starts from there. How you start your research. You start your research with ideas. And how ideas come? Either through innate reasoning, innate idea, built in by nature, by birth, and the other ones are by experience. This is where the fighting is. Yeah? So you see that we have already talked about it. Okay, another thing which you can see is the groups between that. Qualitative researchers believe idea can only be generated through induction, intuition, and it's known as priori knowledge or innate knowledge. A priori knowledge is coming from induction, intuition. This is also known as inductive reasoning, inductive thesis, inductive ideas, or it can come from innate knowledge, knowledge that everyone carries by birth. Quantitative researchers, on the other hand, believe that idea can only be generated through posteriori knowledge. When you experience, knowledge is there. It's nothing before that. Knowledge generated through human sense experience, introspection, memory, testimony, verbal or written, and such as hearing, sighting, tasting, touching, smelling, yeah, and so on, deductive reasoning. What is common in both? Human being is the source of knowledge. This is a common factor, both of them. They put the focus on human. Is approach which takes religion and divine knowledge out. And when focus on human being, the limitations come also. Limitations come, we put doubt. When we put a doubt, we cannot take it the true knowledge. Yeah? So these came up together. Okay? There must be a reason behind it. I don't know why. Where both differ is priori knowledge. One says ideas coming from built-in natural something, and posteriori knowledge. This is sense experience and so on. Knowledge can be used in three subsets, and the last one is very important. Personal knowledge, just knowledge, your name, address, and so on. Procedural knowledge, you can do something. Yeah, you can assemble or make a chair, or you can do anything else. So you need to have knowledge, but philosophically, this is the last bit. Propositional knowledge. This is the knowledge where philosophers are concerned about. A priori and posterior knowledge fall into this category. But again I say this is human-centered, and so issues on their own are still there. But philosophically, this is where the debate between the two groups, quantitative, qualitative group of people, this is always there. Okay, I may quickly go through it because I'm running out of time. This is the definition established by justified true belief. This is the definition of knowledge, justified true belief. Ahmad Wakas is laughing at me, so I'm just doing. I just moved, I can tell you that you can read it out. This is the definition where there are 6 theories. All of them, theories, reject this definition. Some reject that this is no need of justified truth. Some say there is justification, there is no truth. And there is a belief, but some say that the truth and belief and there is no justification. So basically we should just go away with it, just leave it. It's not a problem with it. Yeah, I just give you a very simple example. For example, I am justified that ball is in front of me is red. It is true that, because justified prove it. It is true that ball in front of me is red. It's true, justified and believe. I believe that ball in front of me is red. In fact, that ball was appeared to me red due to red light shed. That is not considered. Fourth factor is not there. This is where they call it Gatier's problem. You see in the next slide. Yeah, I can tell you where is it. Okay. Anyway, this is Gatier's problem. Gatier was a young scientist, and he said that coincidentally I saw the ball was red color, red light kept on it. The fact that red light was there, I was unaware. If the ball would have been other color, still I would have perceived it red. So I believe is it true? This was my belief. I was justified in that belief. It was red. But if other ball is placed and there is a red light shape, the fact that I don't know is still I could have perceived red. Problem. Okay, three theories are there. I just move correspondence theory, coherent theory, deflationary theory. These all theories related to the truth are in problem. I don't want to go and read because of the time limitations. You can read it out. Okay. Correspondence theory, coherent theory believes that you must have so many other beliefs together with one belief, yeah, to support it. Both theories have a problem. Deflationary theories have a problem. And this theory says that when you say somebody truth is accepted as a truth. But when you take the truth out and when you say false, yeah, false statement is also accepted as truth. So truth is truth and false is also truth. When you say false statement, which is actually a true statement, but when you put false in it, it is accepted as false. Yeah, so this is problem in that. Theories of justification, you see that. Foundationalism, coherentism, reliabilism, and these all theories have a problem. You can see it. Those problems are there. All theories which are basically related to the true justified belief, all theories are problem and criticized by the Western philosophers. And they say what I brought it there. Okay? Basic beliefs, and there should be non-basic belief, and non-basic should be the upper, as if you have a foundation brick, non-basic, and then basic, and then put non-basic on top of that, and so on and so forth. Foundational nihilism, which has a lot of problems. Justification has also problems. Reliabilism, more on